If you don't want to get married, come to Lifechanyuan. Xiefeng. June 17, 2007. Possession narrows the heart. Marriage is a product of selfishness, its motive and purpose being to eternally possess the other person. Marriage is a fishing hook baited with fragrance. Once hooked, you will leave the freedom of the vast ocean and can only soak in a small pond, gazing longingly at the expansive sea. It's easy to get hooked but hard to get off. Once hooked by marriage, a person is drawn into a program called family. Once inside this program, everything is beyond your control, and you will be a slave to the family for life. There are no marriages or families in heaven. Jesus said that in the kingdom of heaven, people neither marry nor are given in marriage. Buddha demonstrated that to reach the Elysium world, one must break free from the family. Why get married? Why put a rope around your own neck? Why turn your precious life into a mess, neither human nor ghost? Is there really no other way to live? Human values hold that getting married and starting a family are natural and right. The Bible created Eve for Adam, and the two became one. Since then, no one has questioned the rightness of marriage and family. This belief has persisted from ancient times to today. And what is the result? Who is truly happy? Who is truly free? In the 1,000-year world where I have lived, there are no marriages or families. The happiness and freedom people enjoy there are incomparable to those on earth. That is the true human life. By comparison, Earth's people live as if in hell. The family is the main source of human suffering. As long as families exist, humanity will never reach an ideal state. Only selfish people want to get married and start a family. Only incompetent people look forward to marriage and family. Only sick people want to get married and start a family. Why should a free and lively fish leave the rivers and seas to suffer in a small pond, neither living nor dying? Is it sick? Why get married and start a family? For sexual enjoyment. Can't you enjoy sex without marriage and family? As long as both parties consent, do as you please. What does it have to do with others? What right do others and society have to deprive people of the sacred rights given by the greatest creator? What moral standards are there? If any, bringing happiness and satisfaction through sexual activity is the moral standard. Why get married and start a family? For a stable life. Is life necessarily unstable without marriage and family? Has humanity experimented with this? Should freedom and happiness be sacrificed for stability? If so, lying in a coffin buried in the ground would be supremely stable. Why get married and start a family? To continue the lineage. Can't the lineage continue without marriage and family? Those who want children can have them, those who don't can choose not to. Consider all children as your own, and won't the lineage continue? Why insist on biological offspring? To monopolize the earth? Why get married and start a family? For support and care in old age or illness? Don't worry, I have a solution. If 1 million people do not marry and start families, they can form a society, a large family of non-married individuals. When you are unwell, there will be someone to care for you. When you are old, there will be someone to support you and see you off. Why get married and start a family? Is it because your parents are pressuring you and you don't want to disappoint them? This can be tricky but also manageable. First, ask your parents a few questions. Parents are the first teachers in life, so requesting answers to a few questions should not be seen as disrespectful. Questions like, why get married? And then what? What comes after that? Where do people go after they die? If nothing remains after death, why get married? If people can be reincarnated after death, I'd rather reincarnate into a better place first, so why get married? Is the purpose of life just to get married and have children? What is life? Just because humans have been getting married and starting families since ancient times, does that mean I must do the same? Humans have suffered and toiled since ancient times, should I follow in those footsteps and suffer as well? And so on. In short, Parents should be respected, but asking them to answer a few questions is reasonable. If they cannot answer and still insist on you getting married, then you might have to comply. However, since they are the ones insisting, it is fair to expect them to provide housing, a car, and wedding expenses, and to help care for the children. If the couple has marital issues, the parents should help resolve them. Since parents are insisting on your marriage and family, they should take full responsibility. They should also live long enough to take care of their grandchildren, as they are the ones who wanted them. The grandson is what you want. The safety issue of the grandson going to college and working and getting married and starting a family should be properly arranged by the grandparents. If you don't want to get married and start a family, come to Lifechanyuan. As long as everyone lives according to Lifechanyuan values, I have thought of and resolved all potential issues you might encounter. Why love only one person? Love more people, the more, the better. Why must you propagate your lineage on earth? Spread it in the heaven. Still want to get married? Go ahead. Endure a lifetime facing a critical face. If you end up with someone with peculiar habits, you'll have to swallow your suffering silently. Want to read and meditate in your spare time? No way. Today, a distant cousin is getting married. Tomorrow, an uncle's sister-in-law is in the hospital. The day after, a distant Uncle Lou is having a funeral. You must attend all these events. You used to have just one set of parents, now you have two sets. The number of relatives and friends has multiplied, and you must manage all these relationships. If your partner has a chronic illness, you can forget about having any leisure time for the rest of your life. If you want to give your parents some money, you need to apply for approval first. If it's not approved, you'll have to act like a thief, always on guard for those prying eyes behind you. Once caught, don't expect to be in a good mood for at least 3 days. When an old flame or a dear friend of the opposite sex calls after a long time, you might want to exchange sweet words, but you can only manage a few stiff sentences because someone is listening in. At a class reunion, you might want to express your heartfelt sentiments and let loose with old classmates, but with your spouse nearby, you have to behave to avoid misunderstandings and subsequent interrogations or scolding when you get home. Have a child, and if it's a prodigy, congratulations. But if the child is disabled, it will consume your worries for life. Remember, marriage and family are not novels filled with romantic plots, they are composed of numerous complicated and confusing details. Crying, making a fuss, and threatening to hang oneself, cursing, hitting, and wielding a knife, are common and inevitable. Why get married? If you don't want to get married, come to Lifechanyuan. Let's figure out the best way to journey through life together.